Hello and welcome to Epworth in Action. I'm your host, Pastor Steve Taylor. I'm the Associate Pastor here at Epworth United Methodist Church, and we are so glad you've joined us for this week's program of Epworth in Action. The focus this week is music. I know if I'm having a really bad day, I can turn on some music, whether it be Christian music or 80s music. That's the kind of music I grew up with, or even late 70s music. I don't want to date myself too much, but if I turn on some music and sometimes find that familiar song and can just sing along with it, it just kind of changes my whole attitude. They say music calms the savage beast. And you know, music is also one of those things throughout church history in which we've been able to offer praise of music to God. And on today's program, we'll be talking with Jill Mansfield about that. Also, later on in the program, I'll come back and give you some encouraging words as we finish out this week. But earlier, I had a chance to talk to Jill, and let's go to that interview. I'm talking with Jill Mansfield. Now, Jill is the Director of Music here at Epworth United Methodist Church. And Jill, thanks for joining us for this week's program on Epworth in Action.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about, I know you're a teacher or are on the downward slide of not being a teacher, you could say. But tell us about your music career as far as teaching is concerned.
Well, I started out many years ago as a private piano teacher and spent, probably 30 years doing that, and realized that I wanted to go back to school and get my music degree. I had a degree in psychology and sociology, and but was making my money doing music. And so I went back and got a degree in vocal music education, got a job at Elgin High School, and I've been the choir director there for 27 years. And this is my last year. I will be retiring, or unfortunately, I already am retired.
Kind of retired now, but it's interesting. So I've now figured out how you can get into my head so easily because you have a psychology.
Believe me, it wasn't wasted when I went into teaching.
Yeah. And you've done the church music for several churches, and
yes,
Epworth being one of them. Talk about some of the other churches and then move your way into Epworth here.
Well, I started playing full-time for a church in Conoway, Oklahoma in 1966. I was an infant, just kidding. But I played there until I graduated from high school, and then began moving around different places and wound up in many capacities in many different churches, basically keyboard, but sometimes assistant choir directors, children's choir directors, youth choir directors, that sort of thing. I played in Tishomingo in the Methodist Church there, and in Wynnewood in the Methodist Church there, and I've played for 27 years in the Marlow United Methodist Church before coming here in 2014. 2014.
And now you're the director of our music programs
across
the board.
I'm excited.
Both the kids and talk about your dealings with the children here, because, you know, honestly, we have a small children's group, but you take time out every Sunday and work with them.
We meet for 15 minutes, thereabouts, almost every Sunday. Sometimes we don't have enough kids to make that happen, but most usually we do. And I'm trying my best to teach them more traditional and not so contemporary children's songs, because I feel very strongly that not only in the religious realm, but also in the folk song realm and in the public schools, these are songs that we're losing. And I feel very strongly about that. They had a mission, and they have a purpose, and they're part of our heritage, and I feel like that our church children as well as our public school children need to know them.
We're kind of in this phase right now with this COVID-19. We're missing our choir. I mean, it hurts you, I know. It's hurting me. It's hurting our choir members not being able to gather. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be doing it anytime soon either.
That's looking like it's going to be the fact. I miss them so much. I just, for those of you who are watching, I I miss you so much. But we will. The good news is
will.
we will get back to it, and we've learned some real lessons from this. We've learned how to be independent and how to practice on our own and how to get along in a new normal. And so I don't feel like this is anything insurmountable, and I think that the congregation will just approve of it and just be so pleased that we're back that, I think it'll work out well.
Right. Music touches people in life. I mean, every aspect of our lives, usually there's some kind of music involved. Me, I was a DJ for 20 years, as you know,
I know
but maybe
that.
they don't know. I was a DJ for 20 years, and I've learned a deeper appreciation for music not having it, by missing it. And I mean, I find myself longing for music all the time.
One of the things that I learned just in the last few years, I teach a history of rock and roll class. I know that's weird, but
School of Rock.
Yeah, there's that. And one of the things that I've learned in teaching that it's a social history, not an analytical history. And one of the things that I've learned about that is if you look at the economy of the world, not just the United States, when we hit disasters, whether it be economic, whether it be medical, whatever, people turn to the arts. There's more arts developed during those periods of time than any other periods of time in the history of music, and it's for that very reason. People are looking for something. They're not only
Some
looking
kind of release.
yes,
of
not
talent
just
or-
not just entertainment, but a release, a relief, a sense of calm. And they do that through the musical arts, the visual arts.
A sense of familiarity, too.
Yes, yes. And music enhances everything. I've taught some classes for the Methodist Conference before, and one of the things that we talk about a lot in those is how that you can make music, make your sermon, devotional, testimony, whatever you've got, you can make it more meaningful through music, and you can also make it more memorable through music.
Because it touches the mind, too. It does that. And it's very interesting you say that, how music complements, not only in church, but it complements our daily lives.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, think of all the people that listen to music in their cars and at their desks and, whatever kind of music it is.
Right,
It's
right.
very influential.
And it's interesting, there's people out there who may be tone deaf or maybe not. They say, well, I'm horrible. The Lord says make a joyful noise. Doesn't say it's got to be on key.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we try to do. I've tried my best to make all the groups happy groups, and I think that carries over into the congregation. I hope the congregation loves it.
So Jill's retiring from her school.
I am.
However,
I am.
you're not retiring with us.
No.
You're going to keep. In fact, you're going to get more involved
I'm moving in.
she's moving in across my hall here.
I really am.
And we're glad.
Thank you.
We're so blessed to have you.
Thank you.
And the joy you give others through your music, especially when you do the offertory solos and all of that. But I appreciate those as well.
Well, I thank you so much. I tell you, you're no more blessed than I am. I wanted to be here. This is where I wanted to wind up at the end of my journey. And so it's very humbling to be here.
Music is one of those things that soothes the soul.
Yes, it does. Soothes mine.
And this is ours. Jill, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jill. And as we wrap up today's program, when I think about music, I think about when I was growing up. And I was a big fan of Motown. I loved some of the Motown music, Smokey Robinson, the Miracles. And I think about Smokey Robinson, and he's been making hits for umpteen number of years. He's got great hits out there, Tears of a Clown, Just to See Her, Shop Around were some of his great big hits. And, of course, he started out as the front man for the Miracles, and it became Smokey Robinson, the Miracles. it's just interesting how he in public has said that his gift of music was a gift from God. And I believe that to be true. I believe God bestows gifts on each one of us. And some of us, he's given the gift of music. I'm fortunate enough, I have the ability to sing. I have the ability to play drums, if you didn't know that. I have that gift that God has granted me and bestowed upon me. And it's one of those gifts that I don't take lightly. I love the opportunity to sing. I love the opportunity to play drums, because I have to recognize that that's a gift from God, and it's a gift that he's given me not to hold in to myself, but to share with others. Has God given you gifts? It may not be music. It could be another gift that he's given you that maybe you're not sharing with other people. You know, he does. He gives us gifts, and they're not gifts for us to hold in. They're gifts for us to share. So as you go out through the weeks and think about the gifts that God's given you, think about how he's blessed you with certain talents. Don't waste them. Make sure you share them with others. Because let me tell you, when you do, it's a blessing to others as well. We want to thank you for joining us for Epworth in Action. Remember that you can catch this program on Suddenlink Channel 6. Its initial airing is on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, and then repeated throughout the entire week and weekend. It'll also be uploaded to our YouTube channel at chickashaumc on YouTube, as well as on Facebook Live. So we are so glad you've joined us for Epworth in Action this week. Go out there and have a great week, and remember to share the talents that you've been given. Have a great week.